What's up, my community? If it's your first time, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So if you're anything like me, you've got plenty of dreams that you want to fulfill, goals that you want to reach, but you also have a 9 to 5, and that can be hard to manage. And so in this video, I am going to be sharing with you 5 practical tips that I have picked up to help me manage my dream and my 9 to 5. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So currently right now, outside of my 9 to 5, I've got 2 projects going on. One, I've got my YouTube channel, which I am the producer, the writer, production, everything. And I'm also working on establishing a nonprofit organization as a 501c3, the Leroy Dawkins Jr. Scholarship Fund, in honor of my brother. And as you can imagine, there are so many moving parts and pieces to all of this. It can be so difficult to manage while also working a 9 to 5. And I had to figure out a way to make it a little bit more efficient so that I can put enough time into and invest enough time into making these projects work while also not neglecting my 9 to 5. And so this is how I went about doing it. Number 1, get a calendar. It sounds so very simplistic, and I'm sure you're probably like, that's not groundbreaking, and you're right, it's not. But what I had to learn was that I had to get a calendar that worked for me. And so I found this nifty, cool calendar on Amazon that I put up in my bathroom. It's big enough for me able to write on, and I'm able to see it right along with my vision board. And it reminds me every single morning, girl, you've got this. And so this calendar, it really gives me the opportunity to write down everything that I want to accomplish. It's got a section for me to write notes. What are my goals for the month? You know, some of the pitfalls that I'm running into. It helps me to really plan out exactly what I want to see happen for that month. And I can go and I can check off the boxes. And so it's important that you find a calendar that works for you. Maybe your calendar on your phone is perfect. Maybe you need just a small pocket calendar. But for me, I needed a calendar that was big enough where I could actually write things out and I could see it on a daily basis. And I literally just put it up in my bathroom because, hey, I'm in there every single day. And so find a calendar that works for you. You'll understand more as I go along why this is important. Number 2, get a journal. Any kind of journal, a small journal, or some type of a notebook that you can maybe keep in your pocket, something that you can take notes. Now, why this is important, and again, this is not groundbreaking stuff, but it just gives you an idea as to, I'm wanting to give ideas as to how these things can work in your favor on a day-to-day basis while you're working your 9 to 5. So I know for me, as I'm going throughout my day and as I'm working, I have ideas that are coming up in my mind of what I might want to do for my channel. Or I have thoughts of, oh my goodness, I need to do this. This is the next step for me in accomplishing, nonprofit 501c3 status. So having a notebook or something very close by that I can jot down those thoughts is very helpful, because a lot of times what I found in the past was that I would have these thoughts and these ideas that would come across my mind while I'm working, while I'm going about my day, and I would just try to commit it to memory, and I wouldn't write them down. So by the end of the day, by the end of the week, by the end of the month, I've completely forgotten that idea and I've gotten nowhere. So what I've decided to do is make sure that I have some type of journal or notebook or something close by on hand that I can jot down those thoughts very quickly, so I can go back to them at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, whatever, the time that you've allotted to invest into that time, into that project, that you have it written down so you don't forget it. So maybe you're at work, maybe some individuals might say, well, I could use my phone for that. And that's perfectly fine. Again, just like the calendar, you want to find something that works for you. But maybe you work somewhere where pulling out your phone won't work. They won't allow phones. Or maybe you're a student and while you're in class, it's just not, the best decision to start pulling out your phone. But if you have a notebook or a little notepad or something in your pocket, maybe you work at a fast food restaurant. You might not want to pull out your phone because you don't want to get it, contaminated with food or anything like that. But if you have that notebook in your pocket or that little notepad or that, those little sticky notes or something in your pocket, you have that idea, you can just quickly pull it out, make a quick note, stick it back in your pocket. But just something that gives you an opportunity to take down those thoughts so you don't forget them. Number 3, prioritize. Okay, so you've got your calendar and you've got your notebook. Now you've got to prioritize. Now, number 1, okay, what I realized in the beginning when I started my YouTube channel was I wanted to spend all my time researching on how do I edit and what apps can I use, what software can I use, what editing software do I need to download. I wanted to spend so much time doing the research, and then I wanted to play around and make, little videos that would help me to get more experience in creating my videos. And I got so excited about it, I started neglecting work. And I realized, your 9 to 5 is what brings home the bacon right now. So you don't have the option to just neglect your work while you're trying to invest time into what's right now just a hobby that I hope turns into one. But what I had to decide was, and had to figure out, is that I had to prioritize my time. 8 hours of my day I allot to working my 9 to 5. And I also need to find a significant amount of my day to also prioritize investing time in my business. Now, I know for all of us, our time and our day and our lives are different. Everybody has different things going on. You might be a single mother with 3 children. You might be a married person and have no children. You may be single, no children, but you have 3 part-time jobs. We all have different responsibilities, so you know what's realistic for you. You'd be surprised if you just took 30 minutes in your day. Maybe you took 30 minutes at the very beginning of the day, or 30 minutes at the very tail end of the day, or maybe on your lunch break you took 30 minutes just to allot to spending time investing in that project that you want to work on, whether it be your business, starting a channel, whatever your goal or your dream may be. You'd be surprised if you decided to just stop and take 30 minutes. So those ideas that you started to jot down as you were working, you go back and you say, okay, I want to start a nonprofit organization. I realize that I need help figuring out how to submit the application. You'd be surprised if you pull that note out and then you start to take 30 minutes. Maybe you don't do 30 minutes every day. Maybe that is just a bit too demanding. But you take 30 minutes 3 times a day out of your week. Just allotting a few minutes allows the snowball effect. Because the truth of the matter is, if you don't start at all, you will get nowhere. But if you at least get started, it will start to propel forward. So if you take that 30 minutes and you sit down, and maybe you take that 30 minutes and you pull out that calendar and you say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to use my calendar and start to write out goals for the end of the week that I am going to use so that I can put and invest time into my project that I want to complete, into my goal, into my dream. So prioritizing is very important because let's be honest, if you're going to start a business or whatever project that you want to work on, it all requires time. It requires a lot of good management, and there's a lot that goes into it. And so you won't be able to do it all in one day, and you certainly won't be able to do it all by yourself. But if you prioritize and you use the analogy of eating an elephant, just a bite at a time. And you prioritize your time, you prioritize that goal, and you start to use the tools that you've collected, your calendar, your notebook, jotting down those thoughts and those ideas, making out a calendar to remind yourself what goal it is that you want to reach. What is the actual activity that you need to do? Do you need to reach out to a consultant to help you to get started in your process? Do you need to take some time to research exactly how to edit? Do you need to take time to actually schedule time to speak to somebody? Very small incremental milestones that you want to set for yourself so that you can continue to propel forward. And maybe a week will go by and you've only done one thing. Maybe 2 weeks will go by and you've only done one thing. But if you continue the process and prioritize your time, you can certainly reach the end goal. And number 4, save your money. Because I don't know about you, but my goal in all of the endeavors that I'm going after is eventually one day, ultimately be able to work for myself. I look forward to the day where I can say thank you so much, 9 to 5. You've been so good to me. But now I'm going about and I'm gonna take my own road and I'm gonna be my own boss. That's what I look forward to. And maybe that's not your goal, but you do have a goal. And for every project and for anything that you want to achieve, there's going to be a financial cost involved. And I realize that all of us are in different places financially. Believe you me, I have seen the struggle, people. I have seen the days where I'm like, okay, it is definitely spaghetti this week. And I mean the cheap version of spaghetti, okay? We're going to Walmart and get those dollar spaghetti noodles, that dollar spaghetti sauce. And we're going to get some ground chuck for about $3. And that's going to be the meal for the week. I have definitely been there. And you have to be realistic with yourself, and you have to know exactly where you are and not try to, as they say, keep up with the Joneses. Do not do that. You stay true to who you are and where you are, okay? But what I would definitely suggest, I remember there was a YouTuber that I cannot remember her name right now, her and her husband, but she was working a pretty good corporate job, but she knew that she wanted to eventually leave that job and work full-time for herself. And so she was explaining how she decided to save a year's worth of income, and once she finally saved a year's worth of income, she decided to leave her job. Now, I don't know about you, right now it's not really feasible for me to save a year's worth of my income, but I can save something. And I know that you might be saying, well, Dia, I work a minimum wage job and I'm barely making ends meet. I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck. And I want you to know that I hear you and I completely understand where you're coming from. And I also want you to know that God is faithful. I don't mean to say that to be facetious or, to sound cliche, but God truly is faithful. I have seen him work in my life in ways where I'm like, I cannot believe it. And what I just want to encourage you is, if you are in that position where you're working, where you are working a minimum wage job and you're literally just barely making ends meet, whatever you might be able to put aside, even if it's just $1, even if it's just $5, if there is anything, even if it's 50 cents, what I want to encourage you is to get in the habit of putting something to the side. Because what I find is, especially sometimes for us in the African American community, is it's difficult to save. And a part of that is because we don't make a habit of saving. We have a mentality where I just don't have enough to save, so we never even start the habit. And so I just want to encourage you to start a habit of saving something. Again, even if it's only 50 cents out of your check that you can save right now, $1 out of your check, $5 out of your check. Anything, if you say, okay, this month I'm going to put $10 aside to save and I'm not going to touch that $10. Why I want to encourage you to save your money is because investing in your dream and investing in your project is going to require finances. And if your goal one day is for this to be your breadwinner, and so that you don't have to work a 9 to 5, you're going to have to learn to save your money. And once you start that habit, as your finances increase, because I'm believing by God that your finances will increase. Maybe you will get a tax refund, or maybe, even as we've received funds from, the stimulus and different things of that nature, maybe, someone will bless you. You will just happen to be blessed for your birthday, or for, your job, or you'll get a bonus. Maybe there will just be a few extra dollars that is given to you where you can say, I'm going to take a portion of this and I'm going to set it aside, and I'm going to save this as my project fund, my business fund. And obviously, I don't want to neglect the fact that there are absolutely grants out there and individuals out there that want to invest into certain businesses and invest into certain projects. And so as you grow and as you learn and as you research, you may find those individuals and those resources that will actually fund your project or the business that you're looking at. But you also want to learn to save. And so I just want to encourage you, again, whatever you might be able to put aside, start to learn to just save a little bit. And as you start to make that a habit, as your finances grow, then you will even be able to put even more aside. But that habit will have already started, so it won't seem so, like a frightful thing when it's put $100 to the side, put $1,000 to the side. You're like, I've already got this in the bag. I'm used to saving my money. So I just want to encourage you, as you invest your time into your project, as you invest your time into your business, that you also start to invest your money and make it a priority, so that the more as time goes along, you can see this thing truly become a reality. And then finally, number 5, do not quit. Okay? Maybe you forgot to get your calendar. Maybe you forgot to get your notepad. Maybe you've not done such a great job prioritizing, and maybe you've just dropped the ball on saving and you haven't saved anything. What I want to encourage you is not to quit, because if it really is a passion of yours, you don't want to allow this life to go all the way by, and now you are in your old age and you think to yourself, man, I wish I would have at least tried that. This life, we only get one. And so if we have a desire and a passion on the inside of us to try a business, try a project, we owe it to ourselves to give it a try. You never know what can be the end result. So even when you fail, even whenever you find it difficult, even whenever you're saying, I'm not getting anywhere, don't quit. Look for the resources. Look for the help to help propel you forward. But don't give up. I just want to encourage you, don't give up. Now, we are celebrating Women's History Month this year, and I would be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to highlight one of the most amazing women and flotuses that this country would ever be able to call the First Lady, and that is former First Lady Michelle Obama. And I was reading her book, Becoming, And in her book, she states, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward a better self. The journey doesn't end. And when I read that, I'm just reminded that in all of our endeavors, in going after our goals, in going after our dreams, in becoming that person that we want to become, the beauty is in the journey. It truly is. And I encourage you that as these practical steps that you're taking to help propel you forward and to manage your project, manage your dream, while you're also managing and being productive in your 9 to 5, we are all working to become something, a better version of ourselves. And even when we reach the goal of whatever it is that we're working towards, when we finally do start that business, when we finally do, get that project up and running and we start to see success with it, the truth of the matter is there's going to be a next thing. So we're always working to become. So I just want to encourage you also that you are always, in whatever endeavor that you are working towards, that you are making sure that you become the best version of yourself in the process. And once you reach that goal, you're going to be always setting another goal. Because just as former First Lady Michelle Obama mentioned, the journey never stops. You continue to grow, you continue to become, and you continue to become better versions of ourselves in every endeavor. So, I hope this video has helped give you some insight on how to manage your dreams and your 9 to 5. And I also want to encourage you, if you have not done so already today, I want you to stop, take a moment, find a reason to laugh, and keep smiling. Until next time, and always, stay blessed.